In what ways does your media product use, develop or challenge forms and conventions of real-life media products?
Well, our film opening tackles the issue of two children whose mother has been murdered and they try to find out what happened to her.
The genre we have chosen for our film opening is crime, investigation, thriller.
We have researched two different types of media that can relate to our film opening. These titles are A Series of Unfortunate Events and Hot Fuzz, comedy films, and CSI, a crime scene drama.
We chose to research into a series of unfortunate events because the main characters are children, so we think it's easier to relate our film to our target audience.
We chose to look at CSI because it goes along with the mystery element of our film opening and the editing techniques behind the editing and the timeline.
We researched into Hot Fuzz because the storyline is basically the same as what we want for our film opening, as in investigating details into murders.
Okay, how does your media product represent particular social groups?
Our characters are represented as brother and sister, and at the start they're arguing, and this is just a typical stereotype of a brother and sister.
Because our two characters are young teens, we believe that this would reach out to a younger audience. So the scene in the beginning where they're both shouting at each other and running down the stairs is typical of two teenagers who are brother and sister.
We chose to look at focus on the boy when fuck's sake. When the boy is arguing with his uncle in the final scene, you sort of see the dominance of the boy and how powerful he is over the girl, because the girl just stands there and cries, and you can see that she is more vulnerable.
That scene also shows an outburst of his emotion, and that also shows how the death of his mother has affected him.
What kind of media institution might distribute your media production and why?
Well, I think our film would go straight to cinema because it's very popular nowadays with films coming out like, film that has come out, Series of Unfortunate Events, which is very similar to ours, and a very popular crime drama, CSI, NCSI, and CSI Miami, and shows like that.
I believe it will go into cinemas such as Odeon or View Company, and straight after go into DVD or Blu-ray.
I feel it would first go to film because teenagers are the target audience for cinemas, and our film opening is to do with. Oh, for fuck's sake, can I say that again? I keep fucking out.
Just carry on. Try.
I think our film opening will go. Our film opening. This is ridiculous. Just the opening. Yeah. I believe our film will go straight. Thank you. I believe our film will go straight to cinema because cinema is the target. Fuck's sake! God's sake!
Carry on.
I think our film should go straight to cinema because the. Can I just give up? I give up.
Yeah.
I think it would go straight to cinema because I think our film's suited for both males and females, so it'd be quite popular. Who would be the audience for your media product?
I believe people who are interested in the genre of crime, thriller or drama films would watch it, and anyone over the age of 15 we would give it the certificate rating because of the nature of the film.
I think the kind of person who would go to watch our film, our film opening, might be the kind of person who's younger and might relate to the kind of characters, the main characters that we have in our film, who are the young teens.
It's your turn to read that question, I think.
How did you address your audience?
The audience will be able to tell the film is aimed at them because of use of characters such as the teenage brother and sister.
they might also be able to tell because of the opening sequence that we have. The black and white shows the audience that this is that particular scene is in the past, and when the final scene happens, it's filmed live and there's colour. This shows that the past is different to the present, and it shows what's happened there.
Yeah. We'd know that the audience feedback would be good after it was released on DVD because of the amount of sales. If we didn't get a very high amount of sales in DVDs or Blu-ray, we would know that the film wasn't that good and it wasn't appealing to a lot of people.
What have you learned about technologies from the process of constructing this product? Well, I personally have learned that when you're filming, you need space on either side of the actual thing that you're filming. So for our second part, not our first one, for our film opening that we just did, there's more space on either side, and we just kept the camera running so that when we edit it, we had more to edit, and we could make our film opening look better through it being smooth rather than being quick and jittery.
I've learnt that you should run through your piece more than once and put the camera in different positions. Therefore, you can, when it comes to editing again, you can put them in different places.
Looking back at your preliminary task, what do you feel you have learned in the progression from it to the full product?
Planning and organisation. Scripting and practicing beforehand so it doesn't take forever to get the filming done. It was a lot better this time than the preliminary task because we had an idea about what the outcome would be. So we developed more shots for filming as well.
In our preliminary task, the reverse shot wasn't as good as we made it in our film opening. We've made it more smoother for the film opening, which we learned how to do from the preliminary task.
Yeah.
We also caught more angles from the camera positions that we put the camera in, so we had more film and we have more angles to use for our film opening. Looking back at your preliminary task, what do you feel you have learned in the progression from it to the full product?
Planning and organisation. Scripting and practicing beforehand so it doesn't take forever to get the filming done. It was a lot better this time than the preliminary task because we had an idea about what the outcome would be. So we developed more shots for filming as well.
In our preliminary task, the reverse shot wasn't as good as we made it in our film opening. We've made it more smoother for the film opening, which we learned how to do from the preliminary task.
Yeah.
We also caught more angles from the camera positions that we put the camera in, so we had more film and we have more angles to use for our film opening.